Whoa, we're back for some more Bleach Soul Resonance, and I want to talk about the last little bit of information we've managed to squeeze out of the pre-release for ULQUIORRA before he actually comes to the game. And most funnily, I guess it's going to be a little bit of a walk down memory lane, because ULQUIORRA got something released or like teased or downloaded or leaked, I guess. I usually try not to talk about like direct leaks just because they end up being a little false. And in this case, I want to talk about a little bit of a false flag that could show up just because we have seen it before. And it'll be interesting to see whether it's like two things, right? On one hand, we have it's either real and this was always sort of the plan, or it's fake and this is like a placeholder or something, because this would have happened twice now. Now, you're going to have to take my word for something here. But let me go over to this capture. And we've got Comprehensive Toe posting the leaks from the actual Bleach Soul Resonance Discord. If you want to check those out, you can go to the Bleach Soul Resonance Discord, of course, community Discord, and, you know, go to the leaks channel. But there's one thing that's really interesting about these leaks. Here it is right here. So, in the state of return to the edge of a period, just, you know, a bunch of nonsense, right? Cooldown of technique will be refreshed in the second stage, return state, blah, blah, blah. Whatever. Passive boost 1. Completely liberated. During battle, ULQUIORRA's critical hit rate increases by so-and-so percent. That's pretty normal. That's a pretty normal passive for a character to have in this game. Passive boost 2. Dense spiritual pressure. During battle, every 1% critical rate ULQUIORRA has will increase his spiritual damage by percent up to percent. Pretty normal again. Not that crazy. Get crit rate, you get damage. Passive bonus 3. When the critical hit rate exceeds 100%, during combat, every 1% excess will be converted into additional critical hit damage. Now, if you aren't aware, maybe you weren't playing at the time, this was the passive that Kenpach was planned to have. I don't have any sort of information beyond this. I don't have a like extra thing where it's like, oh, you know, this is getting passed around or shipped around, or anyone. I haven't even seen anyone else point this out. But I do know that people agree that, yeah, no way is that not getting hella change. Agree, this is the most OP kit I've ever seen in this game. It would be crazy. And yeah, here's another one. The white leak that YouTubers ended up putting out, they were totally bunk and got all changed, so this one surely will too. It would be crazy if this character kept this passive. Not because he's not the half anniversary character, not because it's like too strong for the game or too much power creep, but we've seen this passive before. Like, we have seen this passive show up in some respect before, and that was during Kenpach's leak period. It was actually the passive that made me stop really going after leaks. I'm not gonna lie. When this passive was sort of revealed, when I saw that it was like the way it worked before for Kenpach, and again, I'm so sorry I can't just like find this information at the drop of a hat, but the reality is Bleach Soul Resonance is not this sprawling, huge game right now, or it wasn't at the time. You know, we've gotten a lot of players, a lot of people are interested, a lot of people are still playing the game, a lot of people want to play the game. But you got to remember, we don't have like a Pride Win database. We don't have like a Bleach wiki that's like super updated or anything. So a lot of that community built effort is sort of lost because of not getting the kind of like marketing that would usually push out a bunch of info, right? So while again, I'm not saying these leaks could be wrong, I'm not saying that these leaks in fact aren't true, or that anyone's spreading misinformation. I'm just saying that when Kenpach was actually leaked the first time, when we had the Kenpach leak, it literally said that his passive was going to be gain crit rate every second of battle. It was this right here. After the battle begins, Kenpach gains 1 stack of excitement every 2 seconds. Each stack increases his attack percent by 2.5%, stacking up to 10 times. I don't remember the exact number, but it was something like he's gaining 25 or 30 or 45% crit rate. And then every point after that, I think it was in place of this. Every point after that, after 100%, was going to increase his crit damage. Now we know that Kenpach ended up getting his crit damage where? right here. Every 1% of ailment damage increases bonus ailment donut. Every 1% of ailment damage bonus Kenpachi has, his crit rate increases up to 0.5 up to 30, right? So we can see that that's sort of where this like pile driver of an ability ended up showing up, right? It wasn't really replicated in any way. We didn't see this ability show up in any other way. This is now the way Kenpachi's kit works. So again, while I'm not saying that the leaks are wrong or that, you know, people pushing it out are lying, I will say this is going to be really interesting because we have seen this passive before. It is not one of those cases where this is like a totally new kit that is like exploding onto the scene for the first time. Now, does it mean that maybe they're using like placeholders? Does it mean that actually a lot of the leaks, maybe that a lot of the long form leaks are kind of like being swapped in and out on characters as sort of like placeholders for development time? We have seen a lot of characters shift their abilities over the course of leaks. This is why leaks versus reveals is so annoying, because unlike Dokkan Battle, which gets, you know, the character might get revealed, data download happens, and that character just is what they are in the game. There have been times where that character is what they have in the game sort of symptom is false, and they get like changed very slightly, very minutely, or like we don't understand how that ability will work. But in this case, this seems to be pretty open and shut. Let's see if anyone else is talking about this, because I haven't gone through these comments much. I just saw this one and I was like, yeah, it's true. But the lightsaber condensed from Spirit needs. Finally, the Bleach Star Wars crossover. Spirit 2 will be the strongest by a mile. Striker and Dead in Hakamundo. Makes sense canonically at this point in the story. I mean, yeah, it does. Oh man, they really left the boys hanging. Instead of looking like the best, the bond too. Let's check out the stamp and the bond as well. Stamp set after the rare releases. Spiritual damage, the damage of his techniques increase, the ultimate of his damage increase. Okay. During the battle, the own spirit mastery is increased by 8%, and the critical hit rate is increased by 10%. When equipped by a full assault character, the above effects are increased by 100%. Damn. That's also really strong. That is this character is gonna have like huge stats, man. If it's okay. The attack power is increased percent, and the critical hit rate is by additional increase in the Segunda Tapa state. He's going to be one of those characters you want to get the max core stamp. I mean, you technically want to get the max core stamp on everyone, but it's one of those characters where it's like, yeah, just start pulling for the core stamp. Yeah, no. I want to save my core stamp keys. Anything else here that's like particular? Okay. Man, everything sort of pulling around crit rate does kind of make me think that maybe it is real. And if it is real, then it's like, maybe this character might be the best DP in the game by a long shot. And it also will go back to the thing I said of, it looks like ULQUIORRA is the real headliner of the half anniversary. When they got them changing each kit because it's too insane. It will probably be nerfed a little, but this is it. This is the power creep we've been waiting for. The first limited SSR placement, if you don't count Kenpachi, we all know is a little weird. Especially, I don't think they're going to power creep an insane amount. This kit will be changed right before live, just like White's. However, he's still going to ejectively creep the game. This is kind of what I'm thinking. I don't know what they're going to do in terms of... I don't know what they're going to do, but... I just don't think he's going to enter the game like this. Because, again, this is a passive we saw before. And it would surprise me... I mean, maybe they made it for Kenpachi and they just decided at some point that Kenpachi's like a random release, so maybe he shouldn't get it. Or maybe Kenpachi was built for anniversary, or like half anniversary, or one of these major celebrations. Wasn't Kenpachi delayed? Was he supposed to be a New Year's character? He was delayed, or... Wait, was Kenpachi supposed to be our release in half anniversary, and Grimjo was supposed to be Kenpachi's release? Wasn't it something like that? It was something like that, where like Kenpachi and Grimjo, or it was like Grimjo should have shown up sooner. maybe that's why Kenpachi's passive changed so much, is because he was slated for a stronger release cycle. Someone in the comments, if you're seeing this, this is not like engagement bait. If you remember, could you tell me what Grimmjow was supposed to release as? Was it during my Yuri celebration, maybe? I don't remember. It was during one of these big celebrations, though. I'll say that. It was supposed to be that Kenpachi released during like either an earlier period like New Year's or CNY or something, and Grimmjow is also supposed to release earlier. Which makes me wonder what like half anniversary would have been without Grimmjow, because who would have been the third character? You know, we haven't gotten like hype characters that filled in, so yeah, I don't know. I'm gonna stop yapping. This video's gone long enough. It's gone long enough. It's not like this is like super breaking news or anything. I'll see you at the summons next time, but just a fun little talking point from like the early leak days. If you went back far enough in my Bleach Soul Resonance playlist and you saw me talking about the Kenpachi leaks, you would see this video. You would see me talking about this exact passive and being like, this is the best character in the game by far. I was like, this is like a... Because I remember it was like Kenpachi like doesn't need gear. Like when you get a kit like this where you get free crit rate and you get crit rate during battle, it makes gearing so much easier. So we'll see. Maybe they're pulling the trigger on this again because he's the anniversary or half anniversary character. And you know, he's ULQUIORRA, so you know, he's extremely hype. He's like one of the hyper characters. So maybe, I don't know. I'm not buying it yet. I'm not buying it yet, if I'm honest. This isn't like a leak review. This is more of like a leak like eyebrow raised. And I'm like, you know, I don't know. So we'll see. I've been Lone though. Like if you like the video, subscribe to the club, we'll go make it, and peace.